right. So, welcome back to Gamify the podcast. We're so excited to have you here with us. We're about to hear from she's just seriously a boss woman.
Boss.
On so many fronts. So proud to have Miss Carolyn Pitt on from FilmConnx,
FilmConnx.
representing the film industry. Super excited to hear about the company, all the growth it's been experiencing, what's happening, how the film industry's really been navigating this COVID season too. I'm sure you have lots to share with us. So now I know that you're in film, but let me ask you this question, Miss Carolyn. Answer me this, riddle me this. Are you a gamer? And if so, when did you fall in love with gaming?
First of all, sis, thanks for having me. And it takes one to know one. So from one boss to another, very excited to be with you both today. And I'm glad you asked me that. A little known fact, I am a gamer. My son would probably be surprised to hear me describe myself that way, but I fell in love with gaming with Dungeons and Dragons, which tells you how long ago it was. I was an Intellivision and Atari fan back in the day.
Intellivision.
You name it. Centipede.
Television.
So
love it.
So yes, I was definitely a gamer. I spent a good amount of my time doing this, and and I think good hand-eye coordination came out of it. I became an excellent driver as a result of it. I'm convinced.
Facts. Transferable skills.
Okay,
See?
okay. I see.
So now tell us more about you, where you're from, and then tell us about FilmConnx as well.
I will. I'm trying to get this light to be not as harsh. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I'm Carolyn Pitt. I am from Long Island, New York. However, I've lived in Atlanta for more than 20 years. So when people ask if I'm from here, I have to always pause and go, yeah, no. But I grew up here, even though I actually was raised in Long Island. I moved here right after college. And so I'm an IP and entertainment attorney by trade, and I've always been a creative by birth. And I have founded a company that's called FilmConnx. We are the job marketplace for productions. And so what we do is we connect stakeholders, and at this point that includes studios, producers, music labels, and corporate brands, to vetted local crews. So we make sure that experienced and incredible crew members in all of the production hubs throughout the U.S. can be easily found and hired to work with productions that come to their hometowns.
That's dope. How has it been in COVID time kind of making that happen? Because I'm pretty sure, the film industry's had to change a lot about the way that it does what it does. So can you say more about like what that impact has been and how you've been able through FilmConnx to help, bridge that gap?
Absolutely, you're right. So COVID has devastated the film industry and the TV industry as well. Every production stopped, ground to a halt immediately in March, and stayed that way for a few months. And so what we've been able to do is empower our community to find alternative sources of income. So even though it was harder to get jobs in production, we've used our platform to elevate other opportunities so people can continue to make money. I also had the opportunity to address Congress on behalf of the film industry and underserved founders. And this was right before the CARES Act was passed, and they were toying around with the stimulus package and figuring out who should get money and how much. I had the opportunity to speak and address Congress, which was pretty cool. And another thing that we've done that really has been impactful is we are providing compliance officers on our platform. So for folks who have been able to sit through and get a certification online for compliance work to help productions get back to work quickly and safely, we now have them on our site, so they're easy to find and to hire. We've also partnered with another organization to provide COVID testing to productions. And so that also enables productions to quickly restart. Here in Georgia, where we're headquartered, there are more than 40 TV shows and films actively filming. So we actually are back pretty close to our pre-COVID status. Right. However, most other hubs, especially LA and New York, have not been able to do that. And so we're working with them and getting ready for the spike in hiring that is about to happen now that the vaccines are here to save the day. So we'll just have to see when we're able to get folks back to work. When we are, FilmConnx will be the mechanism to do it safely and quickly.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
What do you think has been the reason or the rationale why Georgia's been able to kind of ramp back up so much more quickly than some of the, more usual suspects in terms of like LA and New York?
It's a good question. So for LA, unfortunately, well, and New York, both of them have had spikes. Not that we haven't had them here in Georgia. LA also had wildfires and some other factors. And in particular, LA County has been really struggling with the virus. However, here in Georgia, we've had, I'm not going to say lenient, more flexible way of looking at some of the recommendations of the CDC. And so that has enabled many of the productions to continue rolling or get back to work faster. What I'll say though, knock on wood, is that they've been able to do it safely. So we actually have one of our team members who is currently on set, and she's serving in a COVID capacity, which is really fascinating. She's talked about the zones and the different color shirts and craft services now being individually wrapped portions. And it takes a lot more time now to shoot content. The cost factor is between 25 to 30% of additional cost now because of PPE and other things that are regulated. But we have found a way. And you have to keep in mind too that Georgia is the busiest production hub in the world. So we always have more production than anywhere else in the US. And because we're more flexible, there are some TV shows and films that have opted to come here since they weren't able to film in other places that they initially thought of filming.
That's the opportunities that we were really talking about. COVID, and I tell people this all the time, bittersweet. For us, we're in video games, and I was classroom teaching as well. End of the year teaching, remotely, but living where I was living anyway, which was online and digitally. So it allowed us to be able to be a lot more agile in what we were going to do as far as the company, Pharaoh's Conclave was concerned, and a lot of other ones. But again, being in position to take advantage of the opportunity, I think that was a key. And I see you doing the same thing in what you're doing, again, being able and ready to do that.
What has been the impact to local crew during this time? Because I know that FilmConnx is about creating opportunities for producers and for kind of above the line folks to be able to engage local crew as opposed to having kind of to ship it all in. So how's that shifted and changed over the course of the pandemic?
What I would say is there's more focus now on creating content because a lot of that can be done remotely. So writers and editors have been busy. Folks have been getting those certifications in compliance and in other areas. And there's a lot of people that are waiting and praying. However, they're still connecting on our platform and getting a chance to see what opportunities there are. We've actually had folks reach out to us who wanted to shoot content over Zoom, as you and I are now talking, and said, hey, can you find us a director in Georgia, with these specifications that can coach someone to create the content that they will film themselves? We've had other folks reach out to say, we still want to keep filming. We just want to use a much smaller crew from a respectable distance. Can you help to surface that talent for us? And so it has looked a little different. It was fortunate that we were in an election year because there's content that people were creating specific to the election that they continued to create because they needed to. If it had been, different content or a different year, they might not have been as pressed to figure out ways to do it, but that's been helpful.
Right.
Very cool. So what do you have sort of coming up? What are you guys working on right now? What's FilmConnx working on right now? What does the future look like? I know, you and I have traveled this entrepreneurship journey together. What have been some of the big challenges aside from COVID that you faced, and how have you overcome those? And then what's the future looking like for you?
Yeah, so, it's so interesting when you talk to any founder and you ask challenges, the first thing they say is raising capital is really hard. And then if you talk to women or people of color, they definitely say it's even harder. When you talk to Black women, we're like, man, that is the hardest thing to do. Fortunately, we were a recipient of Google's Black Founder Fund, and we also have raised some additional capital. So we are still in this fundraising game. It's going well. And that is helping our future to look even brighter. We recently signed a partnership with Sony Music. So we are expanding to now provide sound and song remixers and engineers. And so what productions look like and how we can staff them is continuing to expand. We're looking forward to live events. Those are also, in our our view as well. And so our team is expanding, our partnerships are expanding, and we're continuing to partner with organizations who already serve their member bases that they already serve, or folks that need to know about and participate in FilmConnx. So we're out there, in these streets, making it happen for folks looking for work and looking for incredible talent.
So how can people find you? How can they connect to you? Literally and figuratively.
Absolutely. Come find us. So you can find us on any and all social channels as @FilmConnx, which is F as in Frank, ILM as in Mary, CONNX. And you can find me at my personal handle is @Pittesque, PITTESQUE. And so look on IG, on Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn. You can keep up with what we're up to. And if you are either a crew member or a stakeholder, a producer that's looking for talent, definitely check us out, www.filmconnx.com, and create a profile. Looking forward to learning more about what you're working on.
Now, Carolyn, you talked earlier about your son and you being a gamer and he's a gamer. What is some advice? Because we teach K through 12 and collegiate students. Two things. What would be some advice you would have for students who are interested? But then what would be some advice you would give to parents about supporting your young person with something they want to do in the digital entertainment area, like video games or something else?
Yeah, I'd say for young people that they should definitely do a little bit of research, because there's so much more to the gaming game than there ever was before. There are scholarships, there are schools that are now looking for you if you have solid skills. My son is a PS5, I'm not going to say fanatic, I'll just say fan. He has taken what he does from not only gaming, but he has he's a YouTube blogger now. So he has his own channel and it features some of his gaming. So he's always been stats man. So he provides stats and some of his gaming and some of the other things that are relevant to football and basketball. You can find him at Just Jaden, JUSTJXDEN. And so what I would say is be creative and research and see what's out there. And to the parents, I would say be open-minded, because, as a parent, you're like, you are wasting time and money and you need to focus on, your academics. As long as your young person is doing well in school, this gaming thing might just pay off. So, in addition to better driving skills, they might just get a scholarship and a good career out of it.
That's right. That's right. So they won't be living in your basement for forever.
That's what I'm saying. They can have their own basement attached to their own house.
See what I'm saying? Exactly.
Oh man, that is awesome. That is awesome. And that's what I love to hear. We have ours at home doing the same thing. My son's running in and out with a game that he's designing himself or some artwork, and my daughter is the dancer, and my little one, he's on Madden every other day, and they're just discovering all these different things. And we've challenged them. We've said, hey, if you're really going to do it, start your own channel, do these different things. And we weren't thinking that we were going to have to help. Right. But then they said, hey, you said you were going to help us. And so we've had to do that. So I'm glad to hear more and more parents doing that. And that needs to be heard. And I think sometimes parents think they're, by themselves and they don't know what to do. So I appreciate that. I appreciate those words of wisdom and everything that you've said thus far. Atlanta is what? Let me ask you this question. What do you think that makes Atlanta the hub that it has become? What is it really about Atlanta that's helping us to do that?
Atlanta is fire. We have everything we need here except a beach. And, we got a little man-made one not too far away, but you have all these colleges here. What's that? You have got amazing colleges.
No, we were saying, can we go ahead and get somebody to start it?
I know somebody needs to go ahead and put the proper beach in. But aside from that, we've got all that we need. We've got talent. We've got colleges. We've got HBCUs. We are the 4th largest and fastest growing tech hub. And I contend the best place to build a business if you are a Black founder. So there's a very vibrant and supportive tech community. There's just any and all things we could possibly want are here, and it's affordable. The weather is incredible. Honestly, it is as though the world is finally catching up and realizing how incredible Atlanta is. And you can see by all of the incoming. So Microsoft and Google and Apple are all beginning to realize just how critical this city is and how much we have going on. And so it's an exciting time to be here. It's an exciting time to be in technology and gaming and film and TV, because we're the epicenter and we have the talent to be able to build out our enterprises as we build them. So yeah, it's interesting that it wasn't well known until very recently just how much we have going on. Atlanta's dope.
I don't know. I knew that since I was born.
I knew that
you know,
since
back
the
in
70s.
back in the '78 when I was born, I knew it had to be something about Atlanta that was. And I'm glad you talked about the HBCUs as well. You know, we're both HBCU grads, and you know we have our HBCU made shirts on. And I was wondering when we were going to be able to get that into the podcast and be able to pub our shirts. But I'm a graduate of Tuskegee University. And Dr. J is a graduate.
The mighty Spelman College.
and think about what HBCUs have meant to the political scene and just what's going on in history right now. You know, we had Stacey Abrams, very instrumental in bringing out the vote and registering people to vote, a graduate of Spelman. We had Raphael Warnock to take a Senate seat in Georgia as a African American, as a black male, and that has never happened. He was the first to do that. So, you know, and he's a graduate of Morehouse College. And then you have Howard University being represented in the White House, the Vice President Kamala Harris. I mean, again, HBCUs are relevant, and so, you know, and have always been. And so, you know, places like Atlanta, you know, and the Carolinas, and just across the country, from here to Mississippi and beyond, you know, we just, again, want to make sure people know and people take stock in what and all the different things we're doing, and they can see ourselves doing it. That's the other reason. That's one of the reasons why we did this podcast, why we wanted to do Gamify, because not only did we want to talk about the different industries, but we wanted to talk about the people in those industries and what those people look like.
Absolutely.
Because again, you can't really dream about what it is you want to be when you grow up if you don't see yourself doing that.
Yep.
So looking at you, Ms. Pitt, and then looking at Dr. J over here, looking at myself, now you can really say if you want to be a boss in the film industry, if you want to be a boss in the gaming industry, computer programming, or, you know, a teacher or podcast or anything like that, you can do that. And we appreciate you, and we thank you so much for being here with us and sharing with us.
Yes, you know, Carolyn, we love us some FilmConnx. And so anytime you want to leverage this platform for the benefit of the film industry or for the benefit of FilmConnx, you just let us know.
Thank you kindly. I will do that. And I'll be looking for my matching sweatshirt in the mail.
Yes, I can make that happen. That can be arranged.
Always like to spend time with you guys, though, for real. So thank you for having me.
Of course. And we'll have you on as things continue to progress. As you close deals now, you let us know, and we'll come on here and shout together.
I love it. We'll do it. Sure. And same, please keep me posted on all that's going on with Pharaoh's Conclave, because I know you've got a lot going on your end as well. So looking forward to celebrating together.
Yes, absolutely.
Will do. Thank you so much.
All right, be safe.
Be safe out there and keep making those deals.
Making it happen one deal at a time. Great to see you guys. Have a good Sunday.